you're a fan of the podcast or a client here at Personalized Fitness, you're obviously aware of my mantra, and that is the one that deals with what I call the lie of age, the ridiculous concept that time passing on a calendar causes deterioration, which is an absolute lie. Anybody saying that is actually lying to you. Age is dictated by four things, or not age, but deterioration is dictated by four things, and that is number one, activity or fitness, number two, nutrition, number three, lifestyle, and number four, which is the absolute most important. If you get this one wrong, 60% of your battle is over, and that is, of course, mindset. But one thing I think I've done on as often as I need to, and I want to do it today, and that is have a guest on the show that is actually living it. The person that is actually working against the lie of age and doing it incredibly successful. So my guest today on the Personalized Fitness podcast, living the truth and not the lie of age, Miss Beth Compton, today on the Personalized Fitness podcast. Good day and welcome to the Personalized Fitness podcast. My name is Garrett Williamson, president of Personalized Fitness. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I'll introduce my guest in just a minute, but I want to tell you how to get in touch with us if you have any questions about this podcast, or of course, any questions about health, fitness, and wellness, especially if we can dispel a rumor for you. Or as I always have to say, and if you have any questions for our ever-popular Ask Katie section, please contact me at area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach out to me at Garrett, Garrett, at personalizedfitness.com. And that, of course, is our website, my email address, our website, and our Facebook page. Hit me up on Twitter at Team PE if you're so inclined. As I said in the intro, not often do I have somebody that's actually living all of what we preach at Personal Edge as a guest on my show. And I've had too many people tell me that I don't have enough clients that are guests on my show. So I want to welcome to the show Beth Compton. Beth, thank you so much for joining us today.
I'm happy to be here.
I think that remains to be seen.
Just about every day.
Yeah, too true. Which is true, and we'll get into that in just a second. So, but the reason that I wanted to have Beth on the show is, Beth, you've been with us for how long now?
I think 12 years, but I've never been really great with numbers. But I think it's 12 years since I retired.
You know, I should have looked in. We have that in our paperwork. I should have looked that up.
Well, that's all right.
That's all right.
I don't mind guessing how long I've been here, but
it's good
seems
enough,
like forever.
It's been a while. So, well, I mean, and it's been a good forever as far as I'm concerned.
Me too. Do you remember when I first came and I told you I'd be here 3 months?
Yes.
Do you remember that?
Yes. Oh, that was. Yeah. I'm glad you said that. We have there's another client of ours who said the exact same thing, and she had a very strong accent, and I'll never forget. She said, "So how long I do this? 3 months? Yeah." and still with us to this day. So we were trying to remember. There was somebody else that said 3 months, and now I remember.
That would have been
me. It would
me.
have been you. Great, wonderful. Well, how are your 3 months going?
Well, the 3 months. Well, it's funny because I had a pinched nerve, and my orthopod or whoever found it, diagnosed it, said, try going to Personal Edge and just see if you can work it out. And that's why I wanted to tell you, because I knew I wasn't signing any contracts or anything. And you didn't say anything about it. I mean, you didn't roll your eyes like, yeah, I've heard that before. But, of course, the rest is history. I mean, that's part of my health it's definitely part of my health routine.
Right.
But I just can't not be here.
Well, I'm glad I didn't mention anything about that or roll my eyes. I must have been on my best behavior that day.
Yeah, you were still trying to impress me.
Okay, I apologize.
Long ago.
And benefits of being a good salesman, I guess you'd say. Yeah. So anyway, I think it's an 11-year territory, because I remember some of the people you trained with, and we were talking about that before we started recording. You mentioned about. I mean, how many trainers have you worked with? You have any idea?
Now, here's another number that I won't know, but I have had different trainers at least. Well, we always train with 2 different people. I come 2 times a week with a trainer, and the other days are all, I call them freebies because they come with the membership.
Right.
But if I just do the math, if I've been here, let's just round it out to 10 years.
Right.
And I've had 2 trainers a year, and I think they change about every year or 2 years.
Right.
I've just gone through a lot of them, and
right.
everyone has been my favorite trainer at the time. Seriously, it's so funny because I've loved them all for different reasons. I've never had a bad one,
Right.
but as I just told you a while ago, I just really hit the jackpot now
So,
with the trainers I have.
It's perfectly fine. You can go ahead and tell everybody who you train with.
I train with Josh on Mondays and Charlie on Fridays. It's a good way to start my week, a good way to end my week,
Right.
and I love them both. They're just fabulous trainers.
And you've got, actually, it's interesting. You got two people that have a lot of things in common, but you've got two very different styles as far as training.
Very, very different, which is what I like.
Right.
I like variety in my life and everything but my husband.
Yeah.
Trainer variety is good.
Good. I understand. We're always glad to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's glad to hear that too. Definitely so.
Definitely.
To say the least. So, well, and I guess have you been able to get to pull Josh out of his shell? Yeah, he's so reserved.
I'm working really hard on it. Do you know, I feel like I've watched Josh grow up because I started training with him. I don't even think he was a trainer yet. He was kind of an intern first. And I just thought he was the cutest thing. And I mean, I have kids, grandchildren as old as he is. And the change in Josh is amazing. He's so good and so technical. And, I remember when he didn't hardly know anything, but he was good.
Right, yeah.
He's just grown exponentially as a trainer since I've known him.
Well, and you can see that you were one of the people that we had. Josh was the first intern that we actually had clients asking us to hire him, telling us, you need to hire him. Oh. And he was.
Had I known I could have asked you, I would have asked, but I didn't even know I had that much influence.
But he's the first intern we ever hired. Mm-hmm. And he was the first intern we ever hired, and that was 9 years ago. Uh-huh. And what Beth's saying is true because, Josh has now been our Eastern Shore manager for the last, ever since we opened the facility in 2020. Mm-hmm. In fact, had a lot to do with us opening the facility in Eastern Shore on whether or not he would move over there because we knew he was the one that could run it. And and that's how good he is. I mean, he's only been with us, I say only been with us, tenure of trainers at most facilities is a high turnover. Here it isn't. Yeah. But he's been with us 9 years and he's doing that. So
we hated it when he moved over there. All of us.
Well, I tell you what, honestly, the ways we did too. Because do you know that we had for those of you that are a fan of the show, you've seen me do podcasts with Josh and talk about Josh quite often. And Josh has done some over in the Eastern Shore location with him. But we actually in our staff meeting had to talk about the sound change in the facility because he was leaving.
Oh yeah, the volume level. My gosh, he didn't. I mean, I could train with him over the bay without a mic.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I'm sure.
Really.
Easily. So we always tell everybody that when he's doing online sessions with a client here, we always tell everybody you don't need earphones. You can hear him from over the bay.
Yeah.
So, but
turn the volume down when Josh is around.
Exactly. And then Charlie is still a good trainer, very good trainer, but vastly different style, very technical.
Yes.
And of course nobody's is quite as vocal as Josh, but much more technical, much more methodic about his training.
Exactly, and boy, he listens though. I mean, I told him that I was a circumnavigator, being a sailor, and I don't like to do the same things twice. But he, I don't know how to explain his workouts, but they are just so perfect for my needs at a particular time.
Right.
And they're different every time. And we just have a great rapport.
Right.
And I think he knows what's good for me, and I trust him. And we just have so much fun. I just really enjoy working with him, too.
Good. Well, something else you do, another reason I wanted to have you on the show is that you're here. I mean, I know almost 5 days a week, if not 6 days a week.
Well, I stopped. Lindsay said I needed a day of rest.
Right.
I was coming 6 days a week. And I Wednesdays and Sundays are my days of rest, I say, and I have to make myself stay away. And she doesn't like to use the old word, and I don't think she meant it, but she said, you really have to protect yourself from yourself.
Well, and
sometimes.
if it tells you anything, back when I was training for my first world championship back in 2011, I had Chris Oakley. Chris, I don't know if you remember Chris.
I do
but
remember.
Chris and Gary Zakutny here at the facility were actually running my program, and they had me show them everything I was doing, and they first thing looked at it and said, "Yeah, we got a problem with it. What's that?" I said, "What's that?" And I said, "Well, where's your day off?" So we all need that, absolutely.
Yeah,
so,
I guess
yeah,
it's hard. Well, no, it's not really hard. I enjoy those days off, but
right.
This is my sanity really, because being retired from teaching, which I taught forever it seemed and loved every minute of it, but I'm used to being active, and when you're retired, you're not that active unless you make your activities.
Right.
So, and of course, during COVID, if it hadn't been for the gym, I would have had to kill somebody. Not Billy. If
Yeah,
you're
exactly. I
listening,
understand.
not
Yeah,
you,
definitely.
but it was
Absolutely not.
It's just I love it here.
That was and you trained with us online through all of it. I don't think you missed a session.
No, I didn't.
Once we shut down, went straight on to online.
Went online, and it was wonderful.
Good.
I don't feel like I went backwards at all.
Right.
I don't think I progressed as much as I usually do. I feel like I'm progressing all the time when I'm here.
Right.
But I felt like I wasn't going backwards, and I had my sanity, and I was nice to Billy the
Right,
entire COVID.
Good.
Thanks
Good.
to you guys here.
So you're welcome, Billy.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, well, the we've talked about that quite often about when on our podcast we've talked about the COVID period and people dealing with their sanity as much as physical. We were training 260 sessions in person prior to with the shutdown, and then we were doing 240 sessions a week during the shutdown, and we went all the way up to 300.
Wow.
Before we opened back up, which was more sessions than we'd ever trained. And basically because of what you're talking about, yes, the people were looking for an outlet, but it was as much mental as it was physical.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It really was. And that's amazing. And you kept your doors open. I mean,
yeah.
we were all so afraid that, the gyms were not doing well.
Oh, no,
for the
it
most
was a
part.
horrible
And
time
so,
for most of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
it really
we
was.
made it.
Yeah, which we're glad we did, definitely.
Bigger
so.
and better. These things are falling down a little bit.
That's okay.
It's okay.
They still look good on you.
Oh, I can see.
Great.
I can see myself.
Well, what's your favorite, as far as, what are your favorite exercises? What do you like to do in the facility?
Well, I love working. It sounds crazy. I call them playground activities.
Right.
All the stretching groups I love. I like working with a group.
Right.
I wouldn't trade my one-on-one trainer session, of course, but group work is fun. And our boot camp, I love boot camp on Saturdays,
Yes.
which is just a bunch of girls, and every now and then a boy shows up, but
Right.
which we love. But but as far as personal exercises, I just love so many of them. I don't have a favorite. I have plenty of not so favorites, but
and that's okay too. That's all right too. So definitely to have some of those. But not only have you done the physical side of this, I mean, you've been consistent with your 2-day-a-week training, plus your extra days doing the whiteboard workouts and coming in and doing the other workouts, which is what and that Saturday class has taken a life of its own. It really has. So
it's so much fun.
I get informed about what goes on in that class, and I think that's fantastic.
It's so much fun. Stephanie is a big addition to that group.
Yes, and so glad my
Yeah.
wife Stephanie is actually taking part in the class and thoroughly enjoying it, and gives me a report. Katie gives me an even deeper report,
Of course.
about it, and
the
so-
dogs
yeah,
are
of course,
a huge
and
addition.
That's a great addition too. So,
Yeah.
and even Nikki,
Yeah.
my pit bull, came up and greeted you. I heard the other day. So
Oh my gosh, she greets me a lot now.
That's
I'm
wonderful.
bribing her with treats.
yeah,
but
that's smart.
whatever works.
That's how
Yeah.
your trainer Josh
Yeah.
did it. As a matter of fact, he bribed her with treats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was a smart move.
I don't know what took me so long to figure that out. I've been trying to work on this dog for, 11 years?
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So
But she does
Yeah.
come to me occasionally now.
that's a plus. But not only are you doing the workouts, but you're, as I said this in the intro, you're living what we talk about. Now, I'm not going to mention age on here, but you weren't born yesterday. You just mentioned parents and grandparents.
I don't mind. I'm so proud of my age that I'm
Awesome.
still alive.
I love
I'm
it.
82 and a half, and
Right.
I'm planning to be 83 soon. But
I love that.
I'm proud of it, but I'm just so grateful. I've lost dear friends because they just weren't lucky like I am to have found Personal Edge and Billy, of course, and my family. But I feel very fortunate to be here and enjoying every minute of it.
Don't get what she said, because she said something. If you listen to my podcast on Live Age, I mentioned if you ask a 4-year-old who just had a birthday last month, and you ask them, how old are you? They're going to tell you, I'm 4.5.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. You heard the half? And I said that we stopped doing that. Not everybody stops doing that. So definitely, and we shouldn't.
Well,
this is what I preach over and over again. And so, in fact, I've got a birthday coming up myself. I'll hit 55 next week, and I'm ecstatic about it.
Yeah.
And so
I
definitely,
hear you.
so absolutely.
Yep.
But it's not just the physical. There's something I noticed that you're rarely without when you come in the facility.
My water.
Yeah, bingo, your water bottle,
my water.
absolutely.
I decorated it. Especially.
Oh, awesome. She was asking me earlier, I'm showing this to the camera if you're watching this on social media, if you could tell the difference between our bottles. And besides the big purple Wounded Warriors in Action band, you can tell that mine does not have the artistic heart as Beth's does, so which makes a big difference. But you're maintaining your water.
Not as much as I should. I know I should drink more than I do, but I'm aware of it all the time.
Right.
I'm trying to do better.
I understand. Well, I think we all are as far as that goes. But you've got your bottle with you all the time, which is the first thing I always tell everybody: make sure a bottle's with you. That's when you have more of a tendency to drink. And obviously, now you're not working with me personally. We've worked out maybe twice in 11 years. I mean, there's not been many times.
Not enough.
But I've seen your exercises. I've seen what you've been able to maintain, and we were talking about this before the show. The fact that I know you've gone forward, but you definitely have not taken one step backwards in 11 years.
I don't feel I have.
Right.
Except I can't do box jumps anymore, which I very much enjoyed. But my orthopedic doctor said it's not good for my knees. What does he know?
Well,
I don't know.
I won't go against what your doctor says, but I mean, I've got all kinds of things I can tell you about how we can protect it, whatever. But that's
you have been protecting my knees.
Yes, exactly.
I went through a phase where I was doing those stupid cortisone shots.
Right. Yeah.
And all you guys, raised your eyebrows, and the trainers started working on the muscles around, and I haven't had a cortisone shot in years.
Awesome.
So
awesome. Now, and think about what Beth just said there about her age, and she's been working out with us for 11 years. So the fact that she went from cortisone shots to no cortisone shots, the reason I'm bringing this up, beating this to death. I talk about that on the show all the time, the 4 things that actually control deterioration, which are fitness or activity, nutrition, lifestyle, and mindset. And all 4 of those are 100% controllable. The one what I base the activity on is the fact that you can regrow muscle at any age. I.e., you're living proof of it. Exactly. You're absolutely living proof
before.
of it.
Still working on it.
Exactly. Now I have my muscle to work on, which is great. So, besides that, what else have you enjoyed about Personal Edge, or what? Or I'm going to flat out ask you right here on the show. What would you do to make it better?
Oh, that's a tough question. What I've enjoyed about it, first of all, the people. I'm anybody who's old enough to remember Cheers. You know, when you walk in here, everybody knows your name.
Right.
And they say it. Now, I can't say that I know everybody's names because I don't, but I know all the trainers. But the people here are just great, and it's just a whole new group of friends that I've formed since I retired.
Right.
And I enjoy that a lot. And, I love the facilities. I mean, it's a giant indoor playground, outdoor playground to me.
Yeah.
I like the, what's the word? The 24-hour.
Yeah, 24/7 access.
Access is great since I live 2 minutes away.
Right.
And I really can use it.
Right.
I don't like to come here alone so much because Billy's weird and he thinks I'll get taken away to another country.
We think the world of you, Billy. When you reiterate that,
he's
definitely.
Funny, but I usually like to be here. But frequently when I come on the weekend, there's somebody here.
Right.
And I, always come in when there's somebody here. I just don't think it's a good idea for me to be here alone, just because at my advanced age, I would hate for you to have to come haul me out of here. Ruin your weekend.
I understand. Well, and as the owner of the facility, I more than understand that. So, you're not the only one. We have people that, in fact, we've had people that wanted us, to let them know when somebody's going to be here. Like, I'm going to go up on a Sunday, when somebody's going to be there, and I'll actually put them in touch with whoever's going to be here, or find out schedule wise. In fact, your class on Saturdays, which I'll usually run around 10 o'clock unless it's football season. It starts at 9. And that one, if you notice, you have other people that come around that time, and the reason being is we know people are going to be here, and we always let them know that. So,
well, I have to put a plug in for that class for anybody who is watching and doesn't have anything to do on Saturday morning, or even if you do, it's the most fun. We have the best time. It's really a good group of people, and everybody's welcome.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad I don't talk about that class enough, but this actually started. It started because we had a client that was coming up here, and she comes up here 6 days a week, and she's
not as old as I am.
So yeah,
she doesn't need 2 rest days.
No, actually she does, and again, that has nothing to do with time passing on a calendar, but she was coming up here on Saturdays, and then I had another lady that was interested in coming up here, so I put the two of them together, had them meet each other.
Is that Kim and Katie?
Yeah. Kim and Kim. I know Kim still listens to our podcast also, but Kim and Katie were very much alike. They had a very very fast friendship, and culture is very 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 important to us here, and finding birds of a feather is important to us, and people meeting. And they started. That's where it started. Then we just started adding people to their group, and this is what it's. And this is a few years now.
And then Charlie came up with the.
Charlie designs a workout. Right.
And that's another favorite thing about the gym that I forgot to mention.
The whiteboard workout.
The whiteboard workout, because I hate cardio. I forgot to say that too.
Right. Yeah.
I hate cardio, and if Josh is listening, I mean, it makes me do so much cardio. But I hate it, except that. Now I don't have to get on those machines. How do most people do cardio on the treadmills and
treadmills,
stuff?
Ellipticals, yeah.
Boring. Yeah. Cannot stand that stuff.
We get that a lot.
But the whiteboard is there every day. It changes every week. It's a whole different workout that you can do yourself safely, and it is so much fun. I haven't been on a treadmill since the whiteboard.
Workout. Well, ever since Charlie advanced the position of exercise coordinator, we actually that was one of the agreements on him being put in that position. We asked him because Charlie's his designs of workout are fantastic, and he loves doing that. So we have trainers that all of our trainers are great at designing workouts. It's not that, but we have ones that love the session, that love the people. When we have people that really love the workouts, and Charlie loves putting those together. And I'm glad to hear the feedback on there. Oh, he's really good at it.
And he hits everything. I know all the trainers try and hit all your muscles when you're here, but I mean, he has a way of doing it. I mean, we had a partner workout Saturday that he just started, and he's going to have to do that again because everybody loved that.
Charlie, I hope you're hearing that. That's awesome. Yeah.
I mean, and it's different every week, and it's so good. And of course, Katie, I can't say enough about Katie. She's the one who coordinates it for us, and we would be like, I think that would be incorrect to say that, so I won't. But we need somebody to coordinate it and make it work. And she's here every Saturday from Mississippi.
Exactly, and we're very blessed about that. I mean, it would be the workout could be done with the group by reading the whiteboard workout. Yeah. But we're so gracious that she actually chooses to, basically set it up, help put it together, which we greatly appreciate. And she's the one that actually we have the message thread. I'm on the message thread. Charlie's on the message thread, and so is Katie, our trainer, is on the message thread. But Katie, our client, runs the message thread. Right. And keeps everybody together.
It's really fun.
And for those of you who don't know, the whiteboard workout that we're talking about, like Beth was describing, this is a workout that Charlie writes up every single week, and he does 2 different workouts. He does a resistance training workout, and then he does a cardio type workout. And it's like a cardio substitute for those who don't like the machines, because we have a lot of that, and I understand that. And this is what Beth's talking about, that he changes up on a regular basis, and evidently makes it fun.
It is. Lots and lots of fun.
Good.
Highly recommend it.
For anybody that would be in your generation, that if you can think back to 11 years ago when you started, that would have any hindrances or concerns, or what would you tell them about working out at Personal Edge or coming to Personal Edge?
Well, obviously, I would recommend it. One of the things that I've noticed, and my doctors have noticed too, is I have bone issues, kind of osteopenia or something like that. But that has improved since I started working here.
Awesome.
And I haven't done any additional treatments, but I do think that's really important for women of our age. And it's let's see, well, all the things I've said before.
Right.
But it's the one thing I've noticed about getting people in my age bracket to change their lifestyle in any way is kind of tricky. It either works or not. I'm so enthusiastic about so many things that they see me coming and they think, oh, that's just another one of her enthusiasms. This is a real thing. And I'm always encouraging people to try it. And I don't know how many have come because of me, but it's your loss if you haven't.
Well,
it's great.
You actually point out something, you hit on something. 35% of our clientele is over the age of 65.
Oh, and, I did not know that.
Yeah, it's a large section. In fact, I can't tell you how many people, forget it, but in the 60s that we have, I can't tell you. Here there are 70s, I still can't tell you. Once you get to about 85, I can tell you how many people we have. Now, and the reason I say it that way is that you talk to most personal training facilities and say, oh, I've got these 5 people and they're over the age of 70. And when I say, I'm going to have to change that, I've got to run my numbers again because I've been saying 35% over the age of 65. It's probably moved even higher than that, that 35% of our clientele is there. But I would know people that would know me, that would live close around here, that know where the facility is, that want to come here, and they wouldn't come here. And so I actually asked 3 people that started relatively close to the same age, also close to the same time. And I went back and said, okay, you've started fresh, you like this, you enjoy it. Why did you not come earlier? What kept you from coming? And one of the things that I found out, which was shocking to me, was at this point in my life, I don't want to fail at anything.
Oh, really?
And that was
That's
one of their biggest concerns was, and I understand that there, and because the other answer I got was their image of what we do as personal trainers. And this is something I've banged my head against the wall for 32 years now, is what I call the Hollywood image of a trainer. And they said the closest thing in their life that they could think of as a personal trainer was a PE coach, or if they were in the military, a drill sergeant. And neither one of those really conjure up good images. So.
And we don't have any of those here.
Right.
Nobody like that. And I've trained with a lot of them.
Right, exactly.
But that's not what it's all about.
Well, the very few in the last 11 years, there's very few trainers that we've had in the facility that you haven't trained with.
Yeah, I think you're right. And I don't have a preference for men. Well, let me rephrase that. I happen to have 2 male trainers now, but of course I trained with Lindsay for years, and we miss her so much.
Very much so.
And I've had just as many female trainers that I loved. They're all good. In fact, when Billy was training, my husband was training here, he had women and loved the women that he trained with. So
good.
Well, you are good at hiring good trainers.
Well, thank you very much. We pride ourselves on that. But
Yeah.
I will say that birds of a feather flock together. And and the other things, and I'll point this out, you may know this, but when we hire trainers, it's not just me interviewing. We have a 3-step interview process.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and for the second interview, I'm not in the room. A lot of times, I'm not even in the building. Nor do I know what goes on in that interview.
Oh, it's who do they interview with?
They interview one of the directors. For a long time they interviewed with Lindsay. Now they interview with either Gary or they interview with Josh. And they tell me what they want to tell me about that. But since they're going to become a member of our team, and as you said, I'm using your words about this, about how good the team is and how good everybody is, then their reputation is going to be on this also. Yeah. And they're going to have to work next to this person.
Right.
And so that, I think, has been probably the saving grace as far as getting the Lindsays of the world, the Ericas of the world. I mean, Erica's second interview was done by Lindsay, and she sent me a text message and said, "Can we hire her yesterday?" So But
you
that,
knew that was the one. Yeah.
bingo.
Yeah.
But that's again, that has a lot to do with how we do that. So,
Right.
well, you've been with, like I say, you've been with us this many years. You've worked with so many trainers. You've been a fantastic client. You've been a joy to work with.
Oh, thank you.
And which is the reason I wanted to have you on the show. And I'm looking forward to you being here many, many, many years. At some point in time, I will depart this business, and we'll have to leave you in charge because I know you'll still be here.
Oh, what a strange thought. But I hope to be here for a long time too.
We're planning on it, definitely.
It's the most important part of my health plan is this gym.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That means a lot to us, obviously. So, and I appreciate you being on the show. So,
Thank you for inviting me.
I've got to
Enjoy
tidy
it.
up here at the end and tell
Okay.
people how to call in because
Okay.
now all your fans are going to call in. I'll have to
And I
handle all
got to
the
get these things
mail. So,
off.
okay.
It's
That's
driving
fine.
me
So,
crazy.
that's okay.
Okay.
All right, listen, thank you. I appreciate you guys listening, tuning in. But if you have any questions about this podcast or any other, please reach out to us, area code 251-278-3343. That's 251-278-EDGE. You can also reach me at Garrett, Garrett, at personaledgefitness.com, which is, of course, our website and Facebook page. Hit us up on Twitter at @TeamP if you're so inclined. But listen, living long, having a happy relationship, having a culture, a good culture to work out and train in, that's just one more way we help you reach your level of wellness. Thank you so much for joining us today.